Network.
Hello, it's me. It's Rob. I'm on my own tonight, and thanks for coming, or thanks for logging in and watching after the event, whichever you're doing. Let's see who's in the chat room already. Andrew Brooks, Richard's in there, Corrosive Abuse is there, Keith in Watford, Atto Z, he was the first in the room. Did I say Corrosive Abuser? Yeah, well, if I haven't, I did again. Welcome. This is kind of like an impromptu thing. I kind of had this planned for last week, but then FedEx had different ideas. Yes, as Richard or Tonal Access in the chat room says, this is an undressing. So I'm about to take all my clothes off. So stay, if you will. It's not a pretty sight. No, honestly, no. No clothes shall be removed in the making of this video. We're here for one thing, and I want to put this out there right away. So I do not work for IK Multimedia. I am not paid by IK Multimedia. I occasionally do work for IK Multimedia in terms of demonstrating their hardware, synthesizers and drum machines at various trade shows. So you might have seen me at such events as Synthfest UK for 2018 and 2019. I did it. Imsta Festa, I did that in London. Synthesized in Cambridge and a few other places I can't quite remember, but yes. So that's my interest in IK, and they are very kind to me, and they send me most of their stuff to try and to test and review and feedback on. And the UNO Synth Pro, which is this, is one of those such things. So I've been waiting a very long time for this. I think it's safe for me to say that I knew about this a long while ago, and it's been in development for some while, and then of course COVID, then of course Chipgate, and all of these other things have kind of stood in the way and conspired against IK in getting this out. And of course you have to remember, IK Multimedia are based in Italy, in Modena, which, you know, the Ferrari red is quite a nice touch. And of course Italy, you know, my second country, got hit really hard with COVID when it went down big time. So they got hit quite badly, and so things have got delayed. But here we are. It's the end of June 2021, and they are now shipping out, and people are getting them. Now, I was hoping to get the keyboard version, but they are, to use my words, not theirs, rare as rocking horse doo-doo at the moment. And so those that are existing are going out and then being called back in, and then going out and being called back in. So, but they said, look, we'll send you the desktop version for now. It's exactly the same, apart from a few things which we will point out. I'm going to say right now, I've not opened this, so I've not tried it, but I've read a lot about it and spoken to people about it. So hopefully, it shouldn't be too much of a learning curve for me, and hopefully you'll get an idea of what the synth is like. And if you want to ask questions, please do in the chat room. I will do my very best to try and find, you know, your questions in there, so please bear with. I'm doing this completely on my own. So I've got a space here on top of my KX88. I've also got my UNO drum and UNO synth there, because just thought maybe it'd be interesting to have a little comparison, particularly with the UNO synth. Camera set up over here. I've got a laptop and a microphone over here, although the microphone is off because I get I'm not entirely sure if this will suffice, so if necessary I can switch mics. So anyway, lots of different things going on, and so please bear with, because I might, I've only got these, all right? I haven't got anything else to, I'm not that well endowed. So anyway, shall we get on with this thing? Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the unboxing because they are quite boring things, but I thought you might like to see. So this is how your UNO Synth Pro desktop will arrive in this lovely shiny red box, and it's sealed here. So let's see, gently. Am I the only one that gently peels stuff so you don't tear it? Because no, there you go. Right, so UNO Synth Pro. Analog designed by Sound Machines, another great Italian analog synthesizer company. Do a lot of Eurorack modules and fun stuff like that. Right, okay, so let's open this box up. There we go. And on the inside, you have the inner packaging with the motif of the unit. And then if we lift this up, I think because if this works just like the others, you should be able to just lift this up and reveal. Oh, I don't want to drop this. There it is. There's the UNO Synth Pro. Okay, so let's just pop that out and we'll unbag that in just a moment. What else do you get in the box? You get a quick start guide. And it's one of those horrible newspaper-like things. So anyway, I've downloaded the manual, so we can have a look at that maybe later. So one quick start guide. You get a registration card with your serial number on, which you need. I'm just going to cover mine up. But you get the serial number and the link to download the apps, and then there's a cute little business card. That's kind of cool. Anyway, yes, so that's that, and then to conserve, there's no foam packaging here, but there is a little thing, you can see what's coming in here. Come out, a USB cable. And that is it, minimal packaging. Always nice to see in these eco-friendly times. Right, here is the UNO Synth Pro. Unbag this. Just pop that there and get rid of the plastic bag. Safety warning, please make sure you dispose of these correctly. Do not leave them around children unless you want to. So there you go. Right, so here we are, the UNO Synth Pro. And there it is, in all its shiny, glossy glory, which I know a lot of people have picked up on. Oh God, that's going to leave fingerprints, and I guess it will. So there is the UNO Synth Pro. Just uncover my mic. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the original UNO Synth, and this, being the desktop version, has the capacitive keyboard with capacitive pitch bend and mod, which the others didn't have. But there's a lot more lovely rubbery buttons, some nice rotaries, and I have to say straight off the bat, these rotaries feel professional, shall we say. They feel nice. I'm not saying the other ones didn't, but these have that kind of, that little bit of resistance that gives them a little kind of smooth quality. So yeah, quite nice. We'll see what lights up on this, but clearly some of these buttons do light up. And then in the middle here, I don't know if you can see that well. You'll see a reflection of my room in the back. You'll see the matrix, which we'll explain in a moment. So that's a kind of carryover. There's also this, and it is tiny little, like, is that OLED? I'm not sure if it's OLED or just LED. But a little screen in there with a data wheel, which is also a switch, and the volume. Okay, so we'll have a look at that closely in a bit. Now, the rear of the machine, this is quite interesting. So let's have a look, see if we can get this here. Let's move this out of the way. So we have, over this side here, we have full-size 5-pin MIDI DIN, in and out. Now that is different from the original UNO, which had 2.5mm TRS MIDI association standard, but nevertheless some people didn't like it. Another great addition is, I'm having to do this backwards, these are your outputs left and right, and these are 6.4mm TRS jacks. There is a headphone socket, there is an audio in, which I'm told on this does actually go through the filter, whereas on the regular UNO synth it didn't. It was just like a straight through. But I'm also told that you can straight through the audio from this. So if you want to daisy chain audio wise, you can do that. And then we have CV and gate 1 and 2, in and out. just there. And then we have two micro USB ports. One says aux power and the other one says USB. Let me explain what that is. I've done my research. So if you remember on the UNO Synth, the power was either battery or it was USB only, and that was that. And one of the early complaints, cheers by the way, leftover from Father's Day, so it's an excuse. One of the early complaints of the UNO Synth was the fact that it suffered from ground loop, USB ground loop. So you've got the UNO Synth connected to your computer via USB. You're probably using it for MIDI as well, but certainly the data connection is there, and you were getting a ground loop. Now they're easily sorted with little ground loop isolators, which I've got hooked up tonight on those ones. But of course it was the only power supply unless you use batteries, or maybe you used one of these little USB power banks. So what IK have done, and it does appear that they have listened to us over the years, on the desktop version, which this is the desktop version, you've got a separate USB port for power only, and then you've got a second USB port, which is the MIDI data USB port. So you can use one or t'other. Now, this is one of the differences between this and the keyboard version. The keyboard version of this is identical in terms of its audio and technical aspects, but one of the differences, apart from full-size Vitar keyboard, is that you have a proper power supply rather than a USB power supply. Now, I don't quite know why they didn't put the regular power supply in here, because it's a wall wart. It's one of those wall wart type power supplies. So why they didn't put it on the desktop, I don't know. I would have preferred it, to be honest. Still have a USB power option, but give me the mains, because as far as I'm concerned, this is staying in here. It's not going on the road or anything. But anyway, that's one of the differences. The other difference, of course, is the keyboard. So on the regular version, we'll call it the keyboard version, it has a keyboard. It has a Vitar 37 note semi-weighted with aftertouch, exactly the same as far as I'm aware as the Modal Electronics Argon and Cobalt keyboards. So a very nice keyboard. The other difference is obviously that the keyboard version has a mechanical pitch bend and mod wheel, and this has touch sliders, and I'm curious to see how these work. I've used ribbon sliders for modern pitch wheel before, and that was on the JP08 Boutique from Roland, and I hated it because every time I put my finger on the pitch bend, it automatically jumped. My fingers, I've got short little fat fingers, and it just, even if I tried to put it in the middle, it would still jump slightly either way, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to kind of be zeroed and then move it. So anyway, we'll see how that works. That'll be interesting. So physical keyboard, physical mod wheel, physical pitch bend wheel, wall wart power supply, and I believe that is it. There are no other differences between this and the keyboard version. So kind of that's where we're at, really. So we'll get that plugged in shortly, but I'm going to be using these as well. I'm going to rely on my wireless MIDI, because I'm going to be using my KX88 as a controller. I will demonstrate the capacitive keyboard here, which, if it's anything like the original one, is very good. But obviously that doesn't give me velocity or anything like that. So that's what we'll do. So I'm going to switch. Let's see. Let's do that. Okay, so that's the top of my KX. We can get rid of the banners because we know who we are. Because there's only me. Right. For those that are just joining us, and thank you to just a whole bunch of people, Native VS, Inky's here, Rustic, who have I missed that I didn't give a props to? Martin Taylor, of course, the wonderful Kent Spong is here because apparently he's been watching his artificial grass grow. Good luck with that. Dom, hello Dom, welcome. Nice to have you hanging around. Strangely excited, he says. Adamski. You're not the Adamski, are you? Not Mark's brother, are you? No, really? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe you are. Welcome. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? Let's move over to this shop, and I'm going to pull my microphone over. It's on a boom. I'm not entirely sure how well you'll pick me up. Let me know if this is rubbish. Chat box fills up with people telling me I'm rubbish. Right, let's see. So we are going to require some audio. So let's plug some audio cables in. And this is the reason I'm doing all this now, is because I just unboxed it. If you missed the unboxing, you can watch it on demand. It was thrilling. It was exciting. Right, so to 6.4 in the TRS, and then we want some power. So I've got a USB cable ready here. Let's bring this over. This is a super long USB. Now I'm going to plug this into the power, as opposed to the... There we go. Oh, she's turned on already. Whee. If only my wife was that responsive. So there we go. Let's just make sure that's kind of it. Hopefully that's in focus. Okay, right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to MIDI this up. And this will be interesting. So this is a WIDI Master. This is one of the sealed ones I've got. I bought a bunch of these because I knew that I'd end up using them. So, open that and take those out of there. Throw that over there. Right. So if you've not used a WIDI Master before, just so you know, this is it here. Let's move. There we go. So this is the unit. This goes into the out port where it draws the power. This is the fly lead that goes to the in connection. So let's pop those in to the back of this. So in and oops. There we go. And we should see a little blue light. Yes, we do. And you can see probably can't, but there's a little blue light flashing on there that tells me that it's waiting a connection. And if I turn on my KX88, let's just select number 1 voice. There we go. Let's give it a bit of volume. So there we go. We're all connected. That's the beauty of wireless MIDI. 2 promotions in one here, IK Multimedia and CME. You're welcome. Let's just have a quick look at the chat. Okay. No, I'm not getting any commission from CME. I have to buy all my products like everybody else. They do send me prototypes though, but they don't always work. But anyway, so there we go. Right, let's have a look. So I'm hoping you can, because my back is turned and I'm trying to, I really should have thought about this earlier, but anyway, so here we are. This is it all lit up. As you can see, there's these red LEDs. These are the sequencer steps, and they're also apparently shortcuts to patches. But let's go back to, so as you can see, we've got this little OLED screen here. It is very small, but I have to say, because of the fact it is an OLED screen, it's very clear. And I can see exactly what's going on there. Might take a little getting used to, but it's nice. I kind of like that. So first impressions, the build quality is great. You know, it's solid. It's fairly lightweight. The sockets feel nice and firm. The rotaries and everything feel really, really nice. The layout, as we saw before, we've got over on the left-hand side here. So we've got octave up and down. And then these buttons here all select options on the matrix. So we have oscillator, and there's 2 options with the oscillator. So I guess you select the second one by pressing it twice, and oh, there you go, it flashes. So if I press it once, it's choosing option 1, then option 2. Okay, gotcha, right. And then we have the filters, so that lights up that row. Then we have the LFO, so that lights up that row. filter envelope, ADSR, amplitude envelope, ADSR, matrix, so we've got mod number, source, destination and amount, and finally effects, drive, modulation, delay and reverb. Now there are supposed to be some really nice effects on here. Oh, and this is the third option, I missed it. So you've got oscillator 1, oscillator 2 option, then you have this mix option. So it's just basically levels of the 3 oscillators and the noise generator as well. So that's there. Every time you touch a rotary, the screen, as you can see, changes to match whatever you're doing. Over on the right hand side, so you've got store, you've got back, which I guess takes you back. You have a tempo button here, so you can adjust the tempo. There's the voice button, which looks like you can choose between mono, legato and paraphonic. So just go back to mono because that's where it was. Oh, and if you press that in, then you get some extra options. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it looks like there is a little bit of menu diving going on. Hold, which I guess is for the arpeggiator. Then you've got the ARP and the sequence button, and then you have the song button, which is another thing that the feedback from the original UNO synth was that it only had a 16-step sequencer, and that was it. You couldn't chain them together. So now you can. You have song mode, so you can chain your patterns. Anyway, just check the chat to see if there's anything in there. Let's talk about people membranes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Fine. If you do have a question, do at me or at ProSynth Network. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right. And then of course we missed this button here. Alt. So Alt does exactly the same as it does on the original UNO synth, and that gives you alternative functions, which I'm not entirely sure you can see. But underneath these buttons here, there are some grey. It doesn't appear that clearly. It's funny that it's almost like. Yeah, that's odd. So underneath each of these buttons is some legend. So you've got clear, copy, paste, swing, gate, accent, tie, and direction. But the colour of the print is fainter than it is here. So this is kind of white, but this is grey, and it's grey on a black background, and it doesn't illuminate. So that's a little odd. But there you go. So yeah, to access those, as you used to be able to do on the UNO synth, you press the Alt button and then choose that option. So if I choose, for example, gate, then the screen tells me that the gate is off, and then I guess I use the so there's different gates settings there. Right. Okay. So let's take it out of sequence mode. And why am I not hearing anything? What have I changed here? No, mix, that's okay. Awesome. There we go. I guess if I'd just gone to preset and selected one and then gone back to it. There we go. Right. So, filters. At the top here we have cutoff and resonance. Now, again, another complaint from the original UNO synth was that it only had a cutoff. You could do resonance by selecting it off the matrix, but it wasn't like an immediate thing. They've rectified that. You do have now cutoff and resonance at the top here, so you can mess around with that. Oh, actually, yeah, we haven't looked at this yet, have we? So this is the capacitive keyboard. That's interesting. So you've got this kind of capacitive keyboard here with a mimic of the piano keys, and So the white keys, the sensitivity seems to only go about 2/3 of the way up, which means that if you're doing a rundown, you only want to hit the black keys. If you do it at the top, you can do that. But if you do it in the middle, you can do them all. So I don't know whether that's deliberate or not. But yeah. Interesting. Anyway, it's obviously it's not velocity sensitive. Hasn't got any accelerometer in there to determine. Not that I know of. I've not seen anything. So let's try the mod wheel. So let's find a patch that's a bit more. It's okay, it's not awful. This is the one that I'm really concerned about because, as I said in the past, I had a JP08, the boutique Jupiter 8 that only has 4 voices, and the pitch bend on there was just like as soon as I touched it, it would go. Only a fraction, but it would change, and I don't want that. I want to like I do with the pitch bend wheel on the keyboard. I'll put my thumb on it and then I'll move it, but I don't want to. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's see. Let's choose. That's actually better. That's really, really good. I can put my finger in the middle of the pitch bend and it doesn't react until I start moving my finger. Put it in the middle. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, but that's me using the hardware. It's much nicer. So there you go. No velocity, says Dr. Akins. No velocity on there, but I believe there should be velocity on other patches. So there's a demonstration of parophony. Is it parophony? Paraphony? Doty's anguish, should we call it? My synth has Doty's anguish. I've never owned or played a paraphonic synth before. This is the first time, and I really want. Actually, we have Mark Doty coming as a guest in a month or two, so maybe that's something I'll ask him, and I will put this to him. Does this pass the Doty test? That'll be interesting. I can see where the paraphonic thing is coming in with the notes and that portamento that's on here is quite nice. Interesting. Let me know if that's coming through okay. in terms of levels. I know it's a bit quiet. I think it's okay. I mean, that's a fairly kind of soft patch. Anyway, let's have a look. So we've got Mark Pad. Aftertouch as well. So far, I'm quite impressed. So let's try an arpeggio, shall we, with a patch that's called Poly Pluck. Aftertouch there. Quite nice. Quite like that. Evening, Ty. Welcome along, sir. Just, yeah, let me know. Oh, Inky says it sounds okay. If anybody thinks it's good, yep. Right, okay. So, just going through a few of the presets here. Turn the art off. It's called Rave Stab, so you kind of got to do something like that, haven't you, really? On the sequence. Oh, I know what this is. Wasn't there, somebody told me that there was a patch in here. Let's have a go. There we go. So let's listen to this filter now. This has two filters. It has, I need to get this right. It has a new SSI based filter with self oscillation and the original OTA UNO Synth filter. So, let's stop that. No, record. Stop that. I'm going to whack that around there. So let's listen to this filter. Resonance is about 50%. Let's just wind this up. Filter 2. Now I need to know, this is where I need the manual. Okay, here we go. RTFM. Just stop that. Right, so I want to make sure that I've got the filters. It doesn't. Oh, this. Okay, I hate these things. This is the quick start guide here, and I really hate these because it's so basic, and I guess I need the manual. But the filter button, as you can see here, is lit up with filter 2, but I don't know if filter 2 is the SSI filter or the OTA filter. Let's have a look. It should probably tell me on the screen. No? Okay, mode. So that's all the different filter modes, right. Let's try this again. So this is with filter 1 in place. Well, that's got a bit more character going to it. Let's try with the resonance full whack, shall we? So here we go. Let's open up. It's nice. Let's change that filter over. That's quite ineffective. So I think also the filter is programmed per patch. So I guess what I'd need to really do is start off with a completely new patch. Oops, dropped my coaster there. So anyway, let's just quickly come around here. Hello everyone, I'm here. It's not just my hands. Oh, that's better. A nice bit of ghost ship of an evening. It's okay, says Ken, but it's no 1040. No, well, let's be fair here. It is me that's using it. So, and I'm literally using it for the first time, and I haven't played around with this, and I haven't really familiarised. I just wanted to get a first impression. But yeah, I mean, so far it's actually it's not bad. Andrew Brooks says, "What's the beer? It's Ghost Ship, Adam's Ghost Ship local brew. Up the road, boy. That's up in Southwold, boy, enter." Sorry, slips into the local dialect. Yes, so yeah. Let's turn that off. Let's go back to the presets. Okay. So apparently with this, and again, I'm going to have to really dig into this, and maybe I'll be able to give you a clearer idea on the Friday show. But the filters can either be run in series or parallel. So yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how that kind of all works together. And so I'm not really digging in too much at the moment. But yeah, something's going a bit. There we go. Right. I really do need to get out of the habit of playing 4-note chords. But there you go. Right. So let's have a look at a patch. Let me switch the camera back over. Okay, so you don't have to look at my ugly mush. Right. So how does the UNO Synth Pro work in terms of getting into all of the features and everything? So you can see you've got this matrix, this grid here at the in the middle of the synth, and down the left hand side you've got oscillator, filters, LFOs, filter envelope, amp envelope, matrix, and effects. And so all you do is, using these buttons on the left here, you select a row. So you have oscillator row 1, oscillator row 2, oscillator row 3, which is known as the mix. Row 4 is the filters, 5 is the LFOs, 6 is the filter envelope, that one is the amplitude envelope, that's your matrix, mod matrix, so mod number, source, destination, amount, and effects. So, and each of these columns is married up to one of these 4 rotaries at the top, and so depending on which option you got set here, it's all fairly self-explanatory. So for example, you can change the waveform of the oscillator 1, 2 and 3, and then this one operates the sync mode. So if we look at the oscillator, and hopefully you can see it is quite small. I haven't got a fancy zoomed in special camera like other people have on their stuff, but so as you can see, as I'm turning through we have a triangle, we have a sawtooth, we have a square, and pulse width modulation. Okay, that's oscillator 1. Same with oscillator 2. And I believe the same with oscillator 3. And again, as the graphic represents on the screen here, these are morphable. So if you want, let's find a patch that's empty. We'll start off with, let's go to 256 slots in here for presets. I think it comes with 128 factory, and then you can do that later. So let's reset all of these, and let's have a listen to one of the oscillators in isolation. So if we go to mix, we can turn oscillator 1 off, oscillator 2 off, and the noise, and then we'll bring oscillator 1. There we go. Right, so that's oscillator 1 on its own. So this is the triangle. And then as we morph through it, we hit sawtooth, then we hit square, and we get some pulse width modulation. That's steppy. So the beauty of this is that, let's just turn those up there. We can now blend the three oscillators. Drop in some filter here, so let's do we can put this into, I have to remember which voice. There we go, voice. We'll put it into paraphonic mode. Ooh. So now of course we're playing those 3 oscillators independently of each other. So you get a basic idea. I'm not really patch designing here. So there we go. So there we go. Yeah. So oscillator row 1 is your wave shaping and your sync. The second row is the tuning. So let's mess around with a bit of that. So they've done the same as they've done with the UNO Synth. So if you have it in the center, if you start going left or right, you do it in very small steps, so it's fine tune. And then when you get to probably about 50 cents, oh, so when you get to 100 cents, then you start going down first stop, third stop, all the way to 24. So moving it just a little to the left, a little to the right gives you your fine tuning, and then once you kind of got beyond 100 cents, then you start going in the full stops. So let's see, let's try bringing up let's have a sawtooth on all of them. Let's do that. So they're all. And then if we go to the filter, not the filter, the tuning. And let's put this into is in paraphonic. Doing something right there. Just to get a bit of separation, but anyway, so filter, envelope amount 1 and 2, spacing and mode. And then you've got all these different filter modes. So you've 2-pass, low-pass serial, 2-pass, low-pass parallel, bypass, yeah, and then you can choose filter 1 and have that 2-pass, low-pass, 180 or 0, and bypass. Probably haven't chosen the best voice here. Anyway, so that's your filter settings, and then LFO. So you've got different wave shapes there. You've got a sine, you've got triangle, you've got sawtooth, reverse and forward. You've got square, you've got random, sample and hold, and noise. Then of course you have the rate, fade in and sync. ADSR for filter envelope and amplitude envelope. And then of course you've got the mod matrix and the reverb, delay. Drive. So, right, let's go back, let's go to preset mode, and we'll go to some other presets. So again, you're going to have to forgive my cack-handedness and my newness to this particular synth. Let's see if we've got any questions in here or comments. Oops. So let's have a look here. Oh, Kent says I'll wait for the Behringer clone. Yeah, interesting. They made a little announcement earlier today, didn't they? Mr. Wigley says, how much is it? Good question. I'm assuming you're talking about this. So $399 for this model and $699 or $649 for the keyboard one. And I have heard people saying, oh, it's a bit expensive. And I suppose it kind of is in a way, but $399 for this isn't too much more than the UNO Synth Pro was when it first came out, which was like it was $249. No, sorry, that was the UNO drum. So I think it was the UNO Synth was $199. So this is $399. But you are getting quite a bit of synth for your money. Let's see what else here. IK Multimedia sounds a bit plasticky. Well, I don't know. I don't think it does, but it's me that's messing around with it for the first time ever. Sounds quite digital for an analog. I don't know. I'm Mr. Digital. This sounds analog to me. Oh, bless him. Be honest with you, Ty. Am I the only person really not feeling this synth like at all? Probably not. Probably not. But, you know, this is what it is. It's a small desktop analog synthesizer, paraphonic. It's not in the most expert of hands, and I'm sure that if it was, it might sound more appealing. I'm just kind of noodling through. I guess really what we need is me to have a bit more time and to have, you know, some more kind of actually, what that needs, I'll tell you what that needs. Anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of noodling my back to you here. That's not very pleasant of me, is it? So anyway, Ty said not really feeling it at all. That's fair enough. Maybe stick it through the incinerator. Yes, that could work. In fact, I'm not routing my audio through Logic because I don't want to get into that world of pain. Ty says, but as ever, all my opinion, which means absolutely nothing. In the right hands, with time, I'm sure it can sound great. I'm not entirely sure if that's a backhanded compliment. In the right hands. Cheers, Ty. No, I agree. In the right hands with somebody who can actually play a keyboard properly would probably help. Sorry, just another swig. Kent says, who will be on the show next week, or this week, should I say, this will be great for anyone who doesn't have much gear. Yeah, I guess. I mean, as you can see, I've got the other Unos here, and they are kind of great little things in isolation. I've never really broken them out and used them within a kind of a track with lots of things going on. But I can actually see the UNO Synth Pro actually kind of doing that. Yeah. First impressions. I like it. I do like it. It needs a bit of getting used to. I mean, for me, it needs getting used to because I've never played a paraphonic synth before, and I understand what a paraphonic synth is or does and how it does it because I've listened to Mark Doty go on and on and on and on about it. So I have what I think is an understanding. And so I guess there's a playing style that's required. So that probably is one thing. Secondly, I haven't really dug into this whole filter business because it has these two different filters that can operate in series and parallel. So this isn't like a long-term review. I literally unboxed this an hour ago. So this is my my first go at any of this. I might have a bit more of an idea on Friday, hopefully when I've spent a little bit of time with this. Build quality, as always, is good with IK Multimedia stuff. I hear that the keyboard version is solid as hell, so that's good. What else? I like the little screen. It is little, but it is informative and it is clear. And for somebody whose eyesight is shot, I mean, these are progressive varifocal type Watsits with like 3 or 4 different zones in them. And I kind of get like this all the time. With that, it's pretty damn clear. It is small, but it's informative. The resolution's good enough. I was thinking it was going to be deeper, but as you can see, let me just move that out of the way. So you can see it's about as deep as the UNO Synth and the UNO Drum. So it's not too bad. And it has the little rubber feet on the bottom, so it's not going anywhere. Sequencer, I need to really play around with the sequencer and song mode as well. So that's interesting. The Matrix thing works for me. I like that. It's informative. I know exactly where I am, what I'm doing. Yeah, ARPs and sequences I need to dig into. I need to understand that filter a bit more, and how the two work together. I don't think have I ever played a synth that's kind of got these 2 filters and stuff. Interesting. I don't know. But yeah, it's really kind of I like it. First impressions is it has improved on the things that the UNO Synth was kind of being called out on. So I mean, there's no USB ground loop for a start, which is a good start. Got proper audio connections, not 3.5 mils. I don't like the fact it's using micro USB. I think I'm with Wagyu on this one. Wagyu really hates, or was it ASIO Head? I can't remember. One of those two guys really don't like micro USB connections on the back of synths, and I have to say I'm not a big fan. Given the size of this unit compared to the other, and the fact that the UNO Synth has a foot at the back and then it's empty space underneath, from down to the end. Whereas this is solid, it's like a wedge. So there's got to be some room in there. And a full-size USB, was it USB-A, the square one? I can never remember. Would have been nice. And the power supply thing would have been nice. Rather than having the 2 USB sockets, I would have preferred to have the same power supply as the keyboard version, which if it is, which I think it is, it's a wall wart, or it's an inline, lump, whatever you call those. That would have been more preferable to me, at least to have an option to do that. But yeah, and the pitch bend. I'm not going to be using it that much, but the fact that the pitch bend on here, which is a capacitive thing, actually allows me to put my finger in the middle of it and not have it affect the pitch bend until I want it to. That's a big bonus compared to my previous experience of a ribbon-based pitch bend on the Roland Boutiques. But yeah, other than that, I'm impressed. It's nice. I need some time with it. I haven't tried processing audio through the filter, through the audio in, which is again something that this can do that the original UNO Synth couldn't do. I do have some CV and gate stuff. I've got my TD3 in the corner there, somewhere just underneath my finger, and of course I've got my MS101. So might try and do some CV gate stuff with it again. See if I'm sure that works absolutely fine. I'm more of a MIDI person. It's talking of MIDI, it has full-size MIDI ports on it, which again is good. And they're powered MIDI ports, so they will power your wireless MIDI, which is what we're using here. So yeah, in general, pretty good. Minimal packaging, so no kind of awful waste in that. Horrible quick start guide, but the full manual is downloadable from the website. There's a new firmware coming very soon, I don't know what that's doing, whether it's changing anything or just fixing a few bugs. But there you go. So yeah, UNO Synth Pro. I mean, I don't really know if it's your cup of tea. So let's have a look at the chat here. Mr. Unwin. Let's start a sweepstake. How long will it be before Rob gets rid of this? Well, technically, I mean, yeah, they give this to me, but he's going for October. Inky says he won't apart from FM. He's UNO fan. Well, I like UNOs, but you know, if I didn't like it, I'd say. I think you can probably guess that I'm okay with it at the moment. I'm not going, wow, not like I did with this when this thing arrived. That was insane. Oh dear, that's nice. So yeah, you can go for October, Ty. I think your money's fairly safe. How long is this? Actually, yeah, Robert says here, how long after this show will Rob pack it and send it back? I'm assuming for the right one, the keyboard one. I don't know. I would have preferred that. I prefer my synths as in all-in-one things with a keyboard, if that is an option. Oh, he's a comedian. Mate, you've got to give me a call, by the way. We need to talk. So, yeah. Andrew says, CV Gate, are you feeling okay? Yes, I know. It's alien territory for me. Honestly, it really is alien territory. I've got patch leads, but they're only about this long. And I had to buy a pack of 10 so that I could do the filter thing on the MS1, you know, with the filter velocity thing. I had to buy a pack of 10 just to use one lead. So I've got 9 patch leads are about this long. So if I do use them, everything's going to have to be in close proximity. But yeah, why not? Live dangerously. But yeah, that's the UNO Synth Pro. First impressions. It's a nice synth. It needs exploring a bit more and spending a bit of time with. But on the surface, it's an easy to navigate thing, and it sounds great. I just need to spend a bit more time with it, as I think everybody does. Yeah. Let's switch cameras here, because I'm sure you're fed up of looking at my ugly mug. Right, so there we go. Let's have a look at this. Let's go through some of the presets, shall we? finding some nicer presets here. Sorry, because I have to turn my back on you here. Actually, no, hang on. Oh, no, I can't do that. Can I? Can I do that here? Oh, I can see that. Look at that. I can see your comments on this screen as well. So Ty says, give me a shout after this. Yeah, okay, mate, I will do. Thanks for the show, says Dr. Akins. You're more than welcome. Can I just say before I get accused of bullying, I love Rob and his brilliant shows. So I've got to go over here and show that he did say that. Look at that. Oh, I love you. No, really, Andrew? You think that was just me wiggling up and down the keys and hopefully hitting some that sound like they should be next to each other? Oops. Oh, I've got the headphone cable trapped. Right. That's quite nice, isn't it? Here you go. That was the UNO drum and UNO synth, by the way. Simon, yo, git, how are you? Oh, this one's interesting. I don't know if you can see the description of the patch there. Robbie gets a bit moist around the gusset. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. Do any of the presets have a slow attack? Oh. So let's see if we can satisfy Dom's request. There you go. Slow enough attack for you? I don't know. Kent says, I hate to say it, but there are plenty of 20 quid plug-in synths that can do all of this. Yeah, but there's probably lots of 20 quid plugins that could do a lot of things, really. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Get copyright strike for that. This one. So while that's rumbling in the background, one thing that the original UNO synth didn't do was have a self-oscillating filter, and a lot of people called it out on that. So shall we see if this has? I think we've already answered that question. So all the oscillators are down. This is the first patch I've found that has me wanting to do something with it, you know. thought that was quite nice, that one. What else we got? Very true, Ty, but I think I found another one. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere now. Yep. I think the key here is that instead of having Robbie playing stuff with his fat sausage fingers, we should let the arpeggiator do it. Lesson learned. Ooh. That's almost like 3 or 4 patches in one there, isn't it? That sounds a bit Magic Roundabout-y. How do you get that? I'm beginning to have fun now. That's quite nice. found the brassy type sounds. Nice use of the paraphonic features there. Yes, well, I could sit here and go through a lot of those, but maybe I need to practice a little bit more with this synth just to find out exactly where everything's hiding. But I think you might agree that actually going through some of those and sticking the arpeggiator on is probably better than my fat fingers. But yeah, there were some patches there that I really did like. I'll tell you what has changed in the synthesizer world. When you used to be able to go into shops and buy synthesizers or try out synthesizers, the first like 10, 20 sounds in the patch bank were the best sounds that synthesizer made. You don't do that anymore. You buy a synth and you get it home and you go, you have more time to spend going through it. You haven't got a salesman breathing down your neck. But you don't get so many of those great patches at the front of the patch banks. And you might not like presets, but it's nice to kind of get an idea of what the thing can do. But there you go. Anyway, we've been going an hour and a half, almost. And so I think I'm going to wrap this up. So I can go and spend some more time playing with this and making a fool of myself rather than broadcasting it live on the interwebs. So yeah, I mean, that's an early look at the UNO Synth Pro. Some people like it, some people don't. That's absolutely fine. Whether you think it's worth $399 for that or $699 for the keyboard version, that's entirely up to you. They're exactly the same synth under the hood. As I said before, the only differences between this and the keyboard version, obviously, is the keyboard, which is a Fatar keyboard. You get physical mod and pitch bend wheels. You get a proper power supply rather than USB power. Although this, in its defense, has 2 USB ports, one for data, one for power. So you don't get ground hum. It's got 5-pin DIN, 6.5 TRS audio outputs, and it's got audio in, which can go through the filter. Haven't tried that yet, so that's something else I can mess around with. So yeah, it seems a fairly capable synth. Whether it's worth the money, that's entirely up to you. I think as long as there's all of this variety out there, there's something for everyone, and this might not be for everyone. You might want to spend your £300-400 pounds, euros, dollars on something that's a bit more fitting. But as a desktop, genuine analog paraphonic synthesizer with 2 filters, an SSI filter and an OTA filter, with a 64 step sequencer with song mode as well. Let's have a look here. 16 slot modulation matrix, 64 step sequencer with 84 parameters, and just like the original Uno, you can record the parameters like per note in the sequence, so you can do some crazy stuff with that. You could have a whole drum kit, programmed in. 10 mode on board arpeggiator. There's reverbs, delays, and modulation. There's 12 in total, 12 effects. I mentioned that. Dual state variable filters with 24 modes, 3 discrete waveforming oscillators, pulse width modulation, sync, FM, and ring modulation. I mean, it's a fairly capable unit in a very small form factor, or bigger if you want the keyboard version. Think Cobalt 8, Argon 8 size, that's that. And I'm hoping that I'll get one of those here and be able to try that out. As I said, I kind of prefer everything in one place, if you know what I mean. But this sits nicely on top of a controller, along with everything else. And I think if I MIDI it up to the drum machine and other bits, it might all sit really nicely together. But yeah, take it for what you will. We'll probably cover this a little bit more on the show this Friday, which we've got Kent Spong as our guest. I'm really looking forward to having another long chat with Ken, because you don't have a short chat with Ken. It can't be done. It's a good old natter. So we'll have that on Friday at usual time, 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West if you're in the United States, 8 p.m. if you're Central European, and the middle of the bloody night if you're in Australia. So yeah, there you go. We'll be back on Friday. Don't think. Let me just have a look at the current news topic list is growing. So we're going to be looking at Animation Station from Sample Logic, which is kind of cool. We'll have a look at further look at the UNO Synth. We'll probably discuss what this Behringer drum machine thing might or might not be. In fact, I might drop that and do it next week when we know what it is. Sorry, Ty. But yeah, we'll probably have a few more things. Unfortunately, hardware news is a little bit thin on the ground, because I guess hardware is in short supply, or certainly the components to make it are in short supply at the moment. But yeah, we'll do that, and I'm sure we'll have a few other things, but we will mostly be talking. No, Ken, I'm not saying that you talk too much. I'm saying it's just not possible to have a short conversation with you because you want to talk for hours. You're that engaging. That's what I meant. You talk too much. I'm the one that talks too much. No, so yeah, Kent will be with us this Friday, which will be great fun. Really looking forward to that. Who else have we got coming up? Let me just give these a plug, because it's always good. Because I think there might be some people here that aren't normally on the regular show. So who have we got coming up? I can't remember exact dates, but early part of July. So it's not. So we've got Kent this week, and then I think the week after it's this guy, JJ Exarlic from Art of Noise and many other things. But that's a particular one. I mean, I'm just going to be proper fangirling over that one because obviously being heavily invested in Fairlights, he's the man. We've also got coming up, and I can't remember dates. I haven't got all that information with me, but we've got this guy. We've got Axel Hartman coming on the show in a few weeks' time. We've got Jim Danica, session musician, keyboard tech, and kind of MD. I forget the person he's an MD for, but he's based out of Nashville. He's a really nice guy. He's got some great software that he's developed as well. We'll also be talking to my friend Mark Reeder. I'm again looking forward to this one a lot because Mark has been around the block and had his hands and all sorts involved in the music business, particularly in Berlin at a very informative time. This fellow, of course, we all know and love, Mark Doty, we finally nailed him down. And we've got him coming on the show. We've also got Simon Glenister, who I think I mentioned last week. You might not know Simon, but he does incredible work using music technology to help young adults kind of get inspired and feel creative and feel better about themselves creating music using all the technology that he's got in his studio. And he's got loads of gear from Eurorack to keyboards to drums and guitars and all sorts of things. So we've got Simon Glenister coming up. We've also we'll have a return visit from Mick McNeil, ex of Simple Minds, and Mick apparently might be playing a few tunes for us live on the show. Really looking forward to that one. And talking of maybe having stuff live on the show, of course, next week we've got Kent, and I kind of have a funny feeling Kent might be lining something up for us. I don't know, Kent. Are you? You let us know. But you won't want to miss that show at all. But yeah, so we've got a huge amount of superb guests coming up. We're really excited. And we've got, trust me, you should see the list. I did mention this on Friday. The list of ones that we're just waiting to get dates in. I said on Friday we've got 4 of probably the most important people in synthesizers or electronic music in the 1980s. I mean, absolute legends. Just waiting to get some dates in on those. Once we got the dates, we'll let you know when to join the show. But of course, always hit the subscribe button, hit the like buttons, do whatever it is that you need to do to get the notifications, and then you won't miss a thing. Kent surprise, there you go, it's on the screen. So there you go. If you want to see Kent naked, 7 p.m. UK time, Friday, right here. So there you go. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to finish my beer. I'm going to tidy this room up because I've got all sorts. I've got lights and cameras and laptops and cables. If I walk behind the KX88 here, it's a death trap, so I need to clear all that up. So yes, loads of fantastic guests coming up and a great one coming up this Friday. We will see you 7 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, that's all from me. I'm just filling now and I find the right thing to go out because I like to do this stuff professionally. I don't like to just kind of leave you in the lurch. Thanks for joining and thanks for watching. I hope that was slightly informative, and we'll have more coming up. And maybe as I've got more used to this thing and discovered all these cool things that it can do, we'll do another one of these and I'll say, hey everyone, you said that you didn't really like the UNO Synth. Here you go. This is what it can do. Thanks guys and girls. Love you. See you on Friday. Take the greatest of care. Bye.